Welcome to How to Become a Production SQL Database Administrator. My name is Raphael. In the previous series of videos, we looked at how to install SQL 2000 in a production environment. Continuing with that now, we're going to be installing actually the Service Pack, and in this case, Service Pack 2 or SP2. Service Packs actually are released by Microsoft and contain important fixes for the product and are actually rigorously tested before being released to the general public. So they're pretty important to install, and we're going to take that initiative right now. As always, I highly recommend that you apply this into a test environment first, into a test server, before applying them into your production environment. As you can see, I've illustrated this with big, bold red writing. Always test everything, not only this, but everything in a test environment first before applying it on a production environment. You don't want to make the mistake of applying something on a production environment without testing it, only to find out it has errors or issues. Then it's going to be a tremendous amount of thing. The other thing I would highly recommend, if you ever get to that stage, when you do get to that stage, is always back up your system and production databases first before applying it. Always better to be on the side of caution. So as I said, the service pack that we're going to be applying to our instance is the SP2. If you scroll down here, I've given you the website, so copy this, go to your browser and paste it, and you'll see the Microsoft site for the Service Pack 2. Obviously go down here and download it. I've already installed it, or downloaded I should say, and here it is. Once you've saved the file installed, you'll have to go here and double click it. Now, so on your, go to your workstation. If you'll notice here, obviously we're going to be applying it to SQL Server 2. I already did it before in SQL Server 1, and you can see that before I applied the Service Pack, the version that we had was 11.0.21.60, and after the Service Pack we should get this 11.0.50.58.0. This will confirm that we now have applied the latest Service Pack 2 or SP2. So I've applied this to the, Server 1. I'm going to do this same and demonstrate it for you on applying it to SQL Server 1. So go to your folder, and we previously shared the this folder here, and I showed you how to do that in the previous videos. So once it's downloaded, we're going to map it to the Z drive and double click the SQL SP1, SP2. So this will just take a minute. The whole process takes about 15 to 20 minutes. So before I actually click run on this, let me go to the SQL environment and just show you. So in order to get a version, current version, you say select at version, and if you run it, then obviously you'll get the current version of your SQL server. And what I did is I just copy pasted here so you can see this a little more clearly. But as you can see, right now we're on 11.0.2100. And as I mentioned, once I've installed it, we'll be on this version. So now that we are here, go to your and go click run. And we can minimize all this. So it's just going to take a few seconds here to start downloading and installing. So let's see. I think we should close the SQL server actually. We don't need that. So I will certainly, I'm going to go no because I can snip. So let's go run. Now obviously it's going to extract the files. And this process is going to take about a minute or 90 seconds. So I'm not going to pause this video at this point. When it actually does the update and applies the Service Pack, that one will take about anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes. And at that point, I will pause and come back. But for this, I want you to appreciate the kind of time it takes to install the Service Pack. And as I said, it's not that long. So it just takes a few seconds to pop up, so just be patient with that. I know it sometimes looks like if the The application is not running, but you can always double check. If you go to Task Manager, you can go here. That's being installed right here. So we can keep an eye on that also, and the utilization obviously of the hardware resources. But as I said, don't be dismayed. I've mentioned that before, that it is running. It's running in the background, and it's just setting up processes. Well, it's consuming a lot of memory here. We may want to, if you ever see obviously CPU usage on a consistent basis, not there. See, now it's suddenly dipped. Then obviously that means we need to apply more CPUs. So obviously we're fine. This is the update. Show details. Everything is passed. Go next. Accept the terms. That obviously tells you we're going to be applying the Service Pack 2. Go next. And obviously it's going to select the instance for you and everything that needs to be updated too. So just go next. And this is going to check the file. You'll see here a couple of you may see a couple of files here in a second, and it's asking you to avoid a computer restart. Stop the application or services first. I always like to restart my SQL services anyway, so I don't want to stop this. I want to let it see. There we go. So it's asking we should stop these services, but I don't personally prefer it. I prefer to let it run, and then I'm going to start the SQL server at the end of the service pack. So this will just take a few seconds. It doesn't take that long here. And there we go. So go next. And now it's getting ready to the update. Now this process is going to take about 12 minutes. So at this point I am going to pause the video, and then when it's finished I'll come back. And I'll see you in a second. And we're back, and as you can see, the service pack has been completed and applied. And obviously what we're looking for is obviously the status of succeeded. So that's great. So let's click out of that, and let's actually expand this. So now go to your SQL Server and start it again. And now we're going to verify that SP2 or Service Pack 2 has been applied. And remember, we were at this initial stage before the Service Pack, which was the 11.0 version, or 21 as you can see here. And what we want to get to is 11.0.50.58.1. So once we run this again, we'll be fine. So connect to your SQL Server. And you can obviously see it immediately there that we've already applied the, you can see that we've applied the Service Pack 2. But let's run a SQL statement again. The same one. Select at version and execute. And let's just copy paste it here for clarity. And there you can see we've applied the Service Pack 2. And that's how you apply the Service Pack. So I think I'm going to leave it here. There's not much more to say about this. All that, other than that you should be wary of the Service Packs that come out periodically. And always test them in your test environment first before applying them to your production environment. So now that we've installed the SQL server, we've applied the Service Pack. The next couple of videos that I'm going to be talking about is the database and the two primary files, the MDF file and the log file, or the LDF file. And we're going to have several videos dedicated to transactional log file because that's a very important concept. So I hope you join me there. And my name is Raphael, and this is how to become a production SQL database administrator. See you next video.